Yo, what's up, dude?
You're good.
Yeah, I had a question about the Octatrack and the Digitakt. The
Sure.
the audio output as well as the audio input, like when you're sampling, are they exactly the same, or is it improved on the Digitakt?
Oh shit. Okay. I know that the sample rate and the everything the same. It's like 2448 for both of them.
Okay.
But I feel like the Digitakt is a little cleaner, but I don't think that'll like. I think that's still dependent on the sample engine. I think it's kind of. I think it might be kind of the same.
That's
But with the Octatrack, I don't think.
it should technically be the same, right?
Yeah, it should technically be the same.
All right, cool. And I guess last but not least, would you mind if I put a part of this phone conversation on a video if I do make one?
Okay, just make me sound smart.
Deal.
Yeah, no problem, man. Anytime.
All right, cool. I'm going to go try this out.
All right, for sure.
All right,
Later.
peace. Let's do this. All right, so as you may have just heard on that phone call that I had with Mario, I wanted to see if there was any kind of difference between the Octatrack and the Digitakt in terms of sampling, and specifically in terms of one thing I really enjoy doing a lot, which is sampling in something at a really high pitch and then using whatever the sampler is, in this case the OT or the DT, and pitching it back down to its original pitch and maybe even below that. So I wanted to see if there was any big difference between the two. I love doing this mainly on this one here, the MPC 4000. It's kind of what I do all my music on, and I do that a lot on there. Not that I need to. I have like the 2000 and the 60 that I do need to because the sampling time on there is limited. But yeah, as you heard, there might not be any difference, so let's just put it to the test anyway. Oh, correction. Mario just realized that he misspoke a bit. He said that he just realized that the Octatrack is actually 44.124, where the DT is 48.24. So sample rate of 44.1 kilohertz versus the 48 kilohertz. So maybe there is going to be a difference. Let's try this out. Oh, and if you don't know who Mario is, he's been on the face of a lot of the model sample videos. I'll put a link down to his YouTube below, as well as his Instagram. Does a lot of really dope hip-hop stuff with the Digitakt and the model samples, especially with his whole crew and his whole team. So definitely check his stuff out and tell him I said what's up. All right, let's get to this. So as far as getting sounds out of my laptop into both of these machines, I went ahead and used an 1/8" stereo splitter to 2/4 mono cables into the direct input of both of these. I also used Ableton to take two samples at normal pitch, a fast pitch, and a really absurdly fast pitch that I normally wouldn't do, but I kind of wanted to just see what would happen. And to make matters a little more fair, I went ahead and exported these out as wave loops. That way I wouldn't run into any hiccup issues using Ableton with my CPU. The other thing to note is that the Octatrack actually has a rate parameter per sample as well as the pitch parameter per sample, but the Digitakt only has a tune, which is like the pitch on the Octatrack. So I'm not going to be using the rate, I'm going to be using the tune on the Digitakt and the pitch on the Octatrack. On the Octatrack, it only goes down to -12 or +12, which is an octave, but on the Digitakt, it goes down to -24 and +24, which is 2 octaves. So to make matters even more fair, I'm just going to use the -12 on the Digitakt and maxed out at -12 on the Octatrack. All right, that's pretty much it. Let's see if you can tell the difference. All right, so here it is. Basically, we have the teal being one and then the orange being another machine. We have test 1 over here and test 2 over here. So let's go ahead and zoom into test 1 and let's see if y'all can hear the difference. Basically, I'm going to solo from one to the other, from one to the other in between the parts. So this first test is the sample as normal as it can be. No pitch, nothing, just the sample itself. Press play. Part 1. And now part 2. Can you guys hear that? Here, we'll start with part 2 this time and then go to part 1. Already, straight off the gate, there is a difference. So now let's see if that difference plays on when the sample starts getting stretched more. So here is the sample Normal, it was normally sampled in, so it didn't speed it up or anything on the front end, and then I slowed it down on the machine. So here's test one. Switching. Let's listen to starting with test or device number 2, I guess. So let's do that. You guys hear that? I definitely do. Damn, was not expecting this. All right. Now let's see what it does with sample pitched in or sampled in really high. So the pitch on this was tuned up like pretty far. So here it is. Now let's play it from machine number 2. Not too noticeable. Now let's listen to that sample that was sampled in high pitch but pitched down on each machine. We'll start with number 2. And now I'm going to switch it halfway. You might need to listen to that again. So here's machine 1, machine 2. And back to 1. I feel like I'm going for an eye exam. And 2. Wow. Okay, so then this was the crazy test. I wanted to see just sampling in something really, really high pitch and then trying to pitch it back down to normal. So this is how high the sample had to be pitched. So let me start by saying I thought this wasn't going to work at all. I couldn't hear nothing in that. But surprisingly, listen to what it did. Actually, let's play machine 2 first. So this is machine 1. And then this is machine 2. Now let's switch between the two, starting with 1 and then halfway I'm going to go to 2. Yeah, huge difference. Okay, now on to test 2. With this sample here, I wanted to kind of introduce a little bit more of a sound rather than just drums. So there's this kind of like a ringing thing that and here's machine 2. Man, I hope y'all are hearing this as much as I am. Hopefully YouTube compression didn't jack this up. Here's machine 1, and then I'm going to switch to machine 2 halfway. Forgot about this. This one's, you can really hear it. I'm going to just jump between the two quickly. Listen. 1. Damn. Okay, let's continue. Machine 1. Sampled in high pitch. Machine 2. Goddamn. Already. You can hear it. Should we even continue? We already know the verdict. 1. That sample pitch down. Now 2. Wow. That's 1. Damn. Let's give 2 a fair shot. Let's let 2 start this one. So this is going to be 2 sampled in in that insane pitch that I mentioned earlier. One. You can hear one kind of catches the reverb of that sample a little better. So then we took that sample and pitched that way, way down. So here's machine 2. Not bad. But then you flip it over to 1, and boom, we've removed the pillow off our ears. Damn, that was not what I expected. All right, well, there it is. The audio speaks for themselves, I guess. I know what I'm choosing. I'm going to be choosing machine 1. It sounded a little clearer to me, just a little brighter, just overall just a little better, which is surprising because number 1 was the Digitakt and number 2 was the Octatrack. But if you haven't seen my other video, this one where I compare 4 other samplers to Ableton as well, the Octatrack was the most chosen one. And for me to see that the Digitakt has now beat the Octatrack in my head and in my ears is kind of surprising. So that's kind of crazy. I guess that little bit of a difference that Mario mentioned in the text message does come a long way. Well, I hope you enjoyed this video. I know I sure had a fun time making it and surprising myself, I guess, with the results and seeing how different they were. If you enjoyed this video as well, I'd greatly appreciate the thumbs up or subscribe if you can, especially if you like seeing content like this. Don't forget to check out synthshit.com, maybe grab a hat or something like that and help support the channel. But with all that out of the way, I'll see you next week. You already know the drill, and that's to share the love, share the knowledge. Knowledge is power. Peace.